good afternoon, and why not say good evening, since this program will take us into the evening, to all our dear friends who are following us live right now. And hello to all of those who will be watching us in the future through our streaming process. I would like to welcome everyone to this amazing Saturday when we come together to share a little bit of our energy with one another, to give our virtual hugs and kisses, whatever we would like to say, and to welcome everyone. Today, into this evening, we will have Dr. Yasco Aracava talking about this amazing topic, which is sleeping dreams, the Spiritist view, bringing us teachings and reminders about the different questions that we have about sleeping dreams. Before we pass the word to her, we would like to share with you a passage of the book Happy Life. And we would like to invite everyone afterwards to pray together to prepare the environment so we can go ahead and study together. Joanna de Angelis in the book says, "You are not a distant observer of life. You are a member of the universal organism, invested with tasks and responsibilities. Carrying them out will lead to many successes for you. The position of a detached observer leads to erroneous viewpoints and conclusions. On the other hand, conscious participation gives the correct measure and provides a better understanding of the data at hand. Consider yourself a valuable person in the web of creation who is becoming more and more active in the Father's work and making it better known and respected. You are God's heir, and the universe, in a way, belongs to you." What an encouraging message for us to reflect upon ourselves, reflect about what we are doing here together this evening and throughout our lives, this amazing reincarnation. In this case, let us then join energies and our thoughts, our feelings, to truly pray and give thanks to this amazing encounter that we have here. We invite everyone to pray and follow the ideas that we will propose here in this prayer. Dear Mother, Father God, we're thankful for this amazing opportunity that we have to connect with one another. Although virtually here, we send our vibrations to one another that we can become better human beings in this amazing planet, so that the planet Earth can become a light in this universe, a light for others who are trying to follow and become better beings as well. And why not remembering those who are still behind, debating on the small things of life? Let us send them the good vibrations that we are sharing here. Let us send our hearts to all of them, proposing a new beginning, just as we will have this evening here. For some of us who went through a troubled week, a difficult moment in our lives, let us take this moment as a restart to refresh ourselves and to connect with the higher minds, our mentors, the mentors of the SSB guiding us, and the team of good spirits who are vibrating for us all. We pray for each one of us and for Yasco as well, who will be leading this session tonight, asking that all of us will receive this point of light in our hearts to multiply it through our brothers and sisters, and so be it. So many of us have questions, right? What happens during sleep? What happens during our, what really dreams are about? And we sometimes have these questions without answers, or sometimes we still don't understand directly what Spiritism can bring to us. So tonight, or this afternoon into this evening, Yasco will actually be going over with us these amazing questions, these ideas, and we'll pass the word to Dr. Aracava, please.
Hello, everyone. I don't know if I see myself. So tonight we will present this spirit view. I was careful uh, to say the subtitle, the Spiritist view. I hope you're hearing well what I'm talking. So a little bit of science. The sleep cycle, we all know that there's some stages, and usually it's 4 stages of sleep. Stage 1, when we start to go drowsy, start to sleep, is still a light sleep. What happens is the muscle, the brain activity, everything slows down. Then as the things deepen down the sleep, of course, more and more it starts to be paralyzed, more slow, it's still moving, some muscles, but slowing down. The brain waves is going also down. I didn't put the EEG waves because it was too much in my slide. And then goes down in stage 3, again, the sleep goes down and the wave gets very slow, the delta waves. If the sleeper is awakened, that in this stage he feels kind of disoriented, he still doesn't know for a while what's going on. But then goes to REM, rapid eye movement stage, which is a very important stage, which contrary to the slow down motion, the body starts to shake, the eyes start to move. Who has babies, children, you could see that the eyeball moves frantically sometimes, but the body gets kind of paralyzed. It can't move. It can't move. And this phase is very, very important because it's where the dreams begin. People that lack of this phase, sometimes they wake up very tired, and then goes back again. And this cycle, it can happen each 1.5 hours to 2 hours, such that in a night, you can have like, 6, 7 cycles of this whole thing. So this is just interesting information. 12% of the people, they dream black and white. So colored, sometimes vivid color is not so usual. Some drugs can really be more common under certain drugs like ketamine, for instance. You start to have a vivid, colorful dream. But usually it can be black and white, nothing wrong. Interestingly, blind people can see image during dreams. The same way people that are handicapped can walk. You become physically paralyzed during REM sleep, where the dreams occur, like I said, happens each 1.5 to 2 hours. And in the end of sleep, in the beginning, almost going to morning, this REM phase becomes longer. It's where the most meaningful dreams occur in the end of night cycle. And if you awaken, if past 5 minutes, you lose part of what's going on in the dream. You lose the memory. So it's interesting that you can have 6 years of your life, if you say 6 to 70 years of life in this dreaming stage. And more interestingly, we are in sleep mode for 1/3 our lives. So if we live 75 years, 25 years we are sleeping. So the question is, are we wasting our time in this sleeping? Some pills, medication, drugs like antidepressants, barbiturates, benzodiazepines, anti-anxiety drugs can really change the sleep mode, and especially can affect this REM, rapid eye movement phase. So instead, you sleep profoundly, but you wake up tired. And nowadays, they have better sleep pills that can affect less this REM stage. Sonic harmonics can restore this sleep cycle, so it's good to have a good audio. I won't talk much about the the theory that these two gentlemen brought about, especially about the dreams. Of course, in studying the psychology, human psychology, and collective psychology, analytical psychology, they of course studied dreams, and Freud was the one to publish this book called The Interpretation of the Dreams. And of course, Jung, that was also with him in many works, but in the end, he kind of diversified because he didn't agree in many points, especially that the dreams, like Freud said, that were expression of the repressed desires, especially those related to sex, because at his time there was a lot of repression because of the Victorian age. But Jung didn't want to just limit the dreams to some psychological problem. He went beyond, but not beyond enough to put the spiritism and reincarnation clearly to his analytical psychology. He wrote this posthumously. This red book is an interpretation that he gave to his dreams that he used to have since childhood. And finally, after some debates with the family, this book was published after he died. Of course, as the dream, sleep were always part of the human life cycle in this planet Earth, the Greeks, many old philosophers, they wanted to understand what dreams were. So they studied, especially Aristotle. He dealt systematically with sleep and dreams. What is the function? What is the philosophy behind? What is supernatural? What is divine? What is God's message? And also they went to the physiological, biological origin. And you can see in the Old Testament and especially Old Testament, all those prophets coming and to say that in the dream, the God or the God said that you have to do this and that. Some warning, even the arrival of Jesus, Joseph of Nazareth that had to go flee to Egypt, was all this some kind of dream. So the Greeks believed that the dreams carried the message sent from the gods, which is interesting because we also, as a spiritist, we believe in that. You're gonna see later. Predict the future, so some kind of premonition. All the prophetic dreams were all about future that the prophets had to unveil as a message from God. Had therapeutic powers, they believe in that. And most importantly, they were means. So the dreams were means to communicate with the dead. This we're gonna see a lot in the Spiritist point of view that what we call that is the discarnated spirit. So it's a means to communicate during sleep with the discarnated spirit. So let's put more our attention to the sleep and dreams according to Spiritism. So this is all known from the Eastern culture that we can detach, we can emancipate from the physical body during the sleep. I want you to pay attention that there is a gradual detachment, starting from the top, and then the last is here, and when and we're gonna see later, depends on the condition you go to sleep. You may stay pretty much on the top of your physical body and don't take any good advantage of the sleep. But you can, with some preparation, you can detach and stay only with this silver cord that is mainly attached to the center of the brain, the pineal gland, in the center of the brain. And this shows, if you see this in the spiritual world, if this discarnate, like André Luiz was first saw this, and he was really surprised, what is that? And then the nurse said, no, this means that this spirit is incarnated spirit, that is emancipated and is with us now. So this silver cord, once cut it, you dead for good. So you are discarnate once the silver cord is disrupted. And depends on the situation that you are going to sleep, the mental, we're going to say later, we can go not only outside of your home, you can go to the other cities, you can go to the other side of the planet, and sometimes even to other planets, Although this is very, very dangerous, because you have to be prepared to the vibration of that other environment that could disrupt the silver cord. So in most of the information that I'm bringing is actually in the Spirit's book. It starts with question 400, 401 until 413, I think. So in 401, the Kardec asks, does the soul rest during sleep as does the body? That's what we always learn. Well, I go to sleep because I want to rest my body. And we never thought we would actually leave our body behind. So the Spirit's answer said no. So he asked if the soul stays resting with the body. He said no, the spirit is never inactive. These bonds that tied to the body are relaxed during slumber. And as the body does not require its presence, it travels through the space and has direct relationship with other spirits. Other spirits can be other discarnated spirits or incarnated spirits that is also in an emancipated situation, is also sleeping, and it is traveling, during its emancipation. So you can have these two types of spirits, one with the silver cord, one without the silver cord. So this is called this relaxation. The detachment is called emancipation of the spirit, which is the expansion of the perispirit. We learned in some of the latest classes that we had about the nature of the perispirit is this expansibility. It can expand so much that the guy, the spirit can go to the, I said, to the other side of the planet. The connection to the silver cord of the spirit is at the pineal gland, which is in the center of the brain. So you have to keep the silver cord. This question 402 has a very, very, very long response answer. If you want to learn more about what happens during sleep, you invited to read this question and answer, especially the answer from the spirits and um, a small discussion by Kardec. So how can we prove a spirit's freedom during sleep? We may be asking, are you sure I'm not together with there on the top, together inside or on the top of my body? And the spirits say, by the dreams. So you prove this freedom by the dreams and the nature and the content of the dreams. When the body is asleep, a spirit enjoys the use of faculties it does not possess when awake. So this already, ring some flag. It remembers the past and sometimes sees the future. It acquires more power and is able to communicate with other spirits, either in this world or another. 407. Is complete sleep necessary for the emancipation of the spirit? We always ask this question. Do I need to be deeply asleep? Or, little nap, little drowsiness, it can just emancipate. He says, no, it doesn't need a complete sleep. The spirit recovers its freedom as soon as the senses become drowsy. So if our senses, vision, audition, olfactory, tactile, the muscles start to relax, the spirit to say, oh, I can go free. So it takes advantage of every moment the bodily rest to be free. So the spirit, we are ancient spirits, right? We know how good it is to be free, So we experience so many times that I say, wow, I can just go, The second that the body begins to get weary, so as soon as the body becomes weary, the spirit detaches from the body, even during a short nap. You are lying there in the sofa, and suddenly you say, oops, I was sleeping, dreaming. The weaker the bodily state, of course, down you stay, the freer the spirit. This is why dozing or a mere dulling of the senses often presents the same image as dreaming. So, of course, deeper and deeper, you stay longer in the dream. The REM stage stays longer. So, 408, question 408. We sometimes seem to distinctly hear voices of words that have no connection with what we are thinking. What is the cause of this? So the spirit says, yes, you often hear words and even whole sentences, especially when your senses begin to grow drowsy. It is sometimes the faint echo of the spirit of a spirit who wants to communicate with you. So if emancipated or discarnate we want to talk in this moment, they start to talk to us. Hey, come on, come to us. Let's go. Something. So you have the sense that you heard some words or even sentences. When not yet half asleep and with our eyes closed, we often see distinct images and highly detailed figures. Is this a product of our imagination or an actual effect of vision? The body being numb, the spirit tries to break free from its shackles. It is transported and sees. And if the sleep were deeper, the vision would be a dream. So you may be there trying to sleep. You still see what is around your bedroom, something. You have a consciousness, but suddenly, as you deepen, that you lose this contact with what's going on around you, the vision becomes less familiar to that place, the bedroom. So then becomes what we call dream, something that sometimes is unrelated to what we were just thinking, what we were just seeing. So is what is the dream? And one reasonable question that we all ask, 403, why do we not always remember our dreams? Did you ask this question? I used to remember a lot of my dreams, partly because I wake up just after, almost during the dream, and I wake up almost completely. So I remember sometimes details. But if you go to sleep again, you lose all the memories. So that's why this writing dreams. As soon as you wake up from the dream, you say, oops, I was sleeping. If you are interested, okay? Otherwise, it's not worthwhile because it's going to disturb your sleeping mode because you are now more worried to be a writer. So sleep is only rest for the body, and the spirit always remains active. The spirit is partially free while you're sleeping and communicates with loved ones in both this world and other worlds. As the body is heavy and material, so dense material, it is difficult for it to retain possession of the impressions received by the spirit during sleep, because those impressions were not received through the physical organs. So we, as an emancipated spirit, we left our body behind, our senses, our vision, everything is there with the physical body, including the brain, which has the visual cortex, the auditory cortex, olfactory cortex, everything belongs to the body. So it stayed there in the bed. So once we emancipate, now we see almost like in a mode of the discarnated spirit. We sense in many dimensions through almost the whole body. You cannot say, I'm seeing through my eyes. No. You hear from whole body, you sense, is unbelievable. I think Kirsten gave some account last Sunday. What is the mediumistic feeling, mediumistic account when you see the spirit talking to you? If you hear from the ear, no, you sense it. You sense it because you actually, all the impressions, what we call the senses, our sense plus more, because we only hear, we have only the five senses, but we have other senses, the sixth sense, etc. So all the impressions were not received through the physical organs that stay with the body. So if now, to remember I am awake and I have to have my brain to process, if my brain now is so heavy, is so limited, is so dense, how can the brain process and decode this fine thing that doesn't belong to the physical world? That's why is what we call the recollection is fragmented. You may have a sensation that is more genuine. The feeling, the sentiment, it tells more about the nature of the dream, but not actual words, the actual image, because of this fragmentation, because the decoding machine, which is the brain, is not that evolved. So here comes some, we are completely, crazy to interpret our dreams, what means the dream. We buy books, we consult many people, oh, I dream with the speed dance, inside the aquarium, what this means, etc., etc. So of course, Kardec asked the spirit, what should we think of the significance attributed to dreams? What is the meaning? And then he says, the, the spirit says, it is absurd to believe that a certain kind of dreams reveals the occurrence of a specific event. No, they're not supposed to be for that. In many cases, dreams are a memory and sometimes an intuition of the future, if permitted by God, or the vision of something that is taking place in some other place to which the soul has traveled. So the soul went there to this place that, as an incarnate, you have no idea what place was at. You may have a fog idea. Have you not heard for the many instances proving that individuals may appear to friends and family in dreams, warning them of what is happening to them? What are apparitions if not the soul or spirit of individuals who are communicate with you? So what are the apparitions if not the soul and the spirit of the people who are communicating with you? So what I said, well, I guess I have a sensation I met somebody familiar. No, probably was my mother. I don't know. So it is true. It was. So if the sensation was good, the result was consoling, calming. Well, it was a good encounter. That's what matters. That's what matters. So I brought this because of the symbols. Everybody wants to know what symbols mean. If I dream about snake, it means that. If I dream about a cow that is plenty of things to good useful, that means this. And in Brazil, my grandmother used to ask me to buy some lottery, that which is the animal, the bird, whatever symbol. And because she had a dream, she never, of course, won anything out of this lottery. Because I said, "Oh, grandma, you are confused in a cow to another, animal, whatever, dog." But anyway, in this book, The Messengers by Francisco Cândido Xavier and André Luiz is the spirit. He talks a lot about what's going on in the spiritual realm, all the meetings, all the clarification by the mentors, Alexandre, many mentors were there, and André Luiz and others were just beginners, so they want to learn. André Luiz is very, very curious person. So there was a meeting with was a big auditorium, many people, 40 people there, probably mixed, incarnate and discarnate. They don't say clearly. So in this room, there was it was brought this person called Nieta. Nieta was a very young person, a woman, incarnated person. And she was suffering so much because she was a victim of calumny, people gossiping, and she was feeling so terrible with this, what was going on in her life, or I don't know if it was the workplace. So they decided to help her, the advisor and the mentor. And when she was brought there, who came was her discarnated grandmother. Apparently, the mother was also discarnated, but the mother could not come to help because she was in a situation, they said, that she could not come to rescue her. So the grandmother, which was a little more superior or was longer in the spiritual world, she was more stabilized probably. She came to advise to give some help to her granddaughter, Nieta, about her overreaction to this defamation, calumny. So what the grandmother said to Nieta, look, calumny is like a poisonous serpent. But if you give attention to this beast, you're going to be always threatened by this animal, and you're going to be afraid, and you're going to go down. Rather than that, take control. Take control of yourself, how you react to this defamation, gossiping. Just decided that calm, that thing has no importance for you. It belongs to them. You trust yourself, and that's it. So by then, you're gonna see that dangerous serpent becomes a glass serpent, which is a little cute. And now, if you touch this snake made by glass, you're gonna see that you can smash more easily with no danger to you, and becomes a beautiful flower, white flower. So that happens to calumny if you don't pay attention and you take control of yourself. Control yourself. So now what I thought was interesting, how the mentor Aniceto started to explain to Andre Luis about what those symbols meant in the dream. And not only that, if she, Nieta, would remember all these conversations she had with the grandma. So he says, Andre Luis, will this sister remember everything when she awakens in her physical body? I asked, intrigued, to our advice. Aniceto smiled and clarified. Let us not forget that the detachment in ordinary sleep, physical sleep, is fragmentary, as I said, and that vision and hearing peculiar to the incarnate are also restricted in it. So once you go to physical sleep, you are limited to what the body limitations. The phenomenon, therefore, is more of a spiritual union than of sensory perception, properly speaking. The young woman, Nieta, is receiving positive consolation from spirit to spirit because she is emancipated, free spirit, and the grandmother was a discarnate spirit. However, she will wake up encouraged and in a good mood without being able to identify the cause of the restoration of her good spirit. She will say that she dreamed of her grandmother in a place where there were many people because there was an auditorium, without remembering the details of the fact, adding that she saw in the dream a threatening snake, which soon became a glass snake breaking at the impulse of her hands, of her will, to transform into a fragrant flower, which still she retains the pleasant aroma. She will affirm the sovereign comfort that has invaded her soul, and deep down, she will understand the consoling message that has been granted to her. So, isn't it beautiful that what matters is how we wake up after dream. You know, for that we have to be prepared to always have, or most of the time, have a good, comforting dream. Okay, types of dream. There is what we call physiological, which is why we call physiological. Because when you eat something heavy just before you go to sleep, of course, that food, if it's a heavy meat or things that is difficult to digest, of course, your body is processing the digestion of this food. So, of course, it will be very difficult for the spirit first to detach from that body because he's pretty much involved in that sensation of, feeling heavy with the heavy stomach, something, and or if you drank so much, you feeling that you have to go to the bathroom or you may, so it's sometimes very difficult to detach a little bit far from the body. So pretty much you stay paying attention, taking care of your body. That's it. So this is a kind of waste because you're not supposed to be there uh, taking care of your body. Let the body sleep, etc. So for that, you should to take care of the physiology. To be prepared, what you're gonna eat, what you're gonna drink, what you're gonna if it's a pill, be careful with that. Then there is another type of dream that is called reflexive or psychological. So that is the dream that most of the uh, thera- thera- psychotherapists will deal with. If you have some repressed, some problems that is always coming back and forth, that you can't understand, and sometimes the dreams are the same, it comes always in the same way. And usually this is the part where the psychotherapists deal with. So, of course, you have to be careful with this thing because as the physiological and this part also can be affected by what you drank, how the mental state was affected also. Then there is a spiritual astral lucid dream. This is a very interesting spiritual when you are more detached, more free, almost completely, you can be even completely free, traveling, and you meet loved ones, you can meet enemies too. You can participate in business courses, in spiritist meeting. A lot of things depends on your state, mental state, your behavior, how you treating you as a spirit. If you are all the meditation, prayers, if you being really behaving according to what the divine law say, or you are just deceiving yourself. It will appear during you may deceive when you are awakened, but during the sleep, you cannot deceive anybody, even yourself. So you will be what you are. Ugly sometimes, beautiful, in the other instance. You will have all the terrible vices. It will be you almost naked. You cannot pretend that you are that politically correct person, that you deceive all the people around you. No, there, and people will see, because what they see is what we truly are. Our mental, our thoughts are there. Everybody can access me as a true thing. What we are, what I'm thinking, my psychosphere, etc. And then there is this what is called lucid dream, which people say if you practice, you can be more aware that you have this lucid dream that can be just very short, couple of seconds, to something longer. That so what they say is that lucid dream range from short dreamlets of a few seconds to lucid dreams of an hour or more, ranging from barely lucid, hyperlucid. They are incredibly real, and that when you awake, you think the awakening state is actually foggy. That was proven in 1975. They did an experiment with a guy that was able to enter in this lucid dream very professionally almost, and they proved by recording some kind of EEG or other type of electronics. So what happens in the lucid dream is many people say, I can actually control and change the dream. If the dream, I don't like the ending of that dream, I can change the dream. I can change. That's how it's called lucid. So that may be interesting because I would say if I'm scary, is a dream of terror, I'm terrorized, I can change. If I'm able to enter in this lucid dream, I can change the end point of that thing. If I have a phobia, some kind of insight, oh, I can change or visualize that as a glassy, beautiful butterfly and not that worm or whatever that I'm afraid of. So in lucid dream, you can go and change by yourself. You have that control. Of course, therapists can go there and help you to change the endpoint of this dream. The yoga dream is a little bit more spiritual, and that is practiced a lot among the Tibetan Buddhist monks, and it's deeper than the lucid. Not only so, all the dream yoga are lucid, but not all lucid dream are dream yoga. So it's more deeper. It requires more, like I say, nocturnal meditation and be able to go profoundly down and be really at a more transcendental state in order to, but it's possible. And now the Western people are going after this practice of yoga dream. So preparation for good sleep emancipation. Of course, it has to have a good sound, the sound of the water falling, beautiful, that it won't be heavy metal, nothing very soothing. Meditation before go to sleep, a prayer. So meditation, prayer reconnect us with friendly spirituality and with God, besides rebalancing our energy, which makes it easy for the spirit to have a softer emancipation and with healthier possibilities for the night out of the body. So if we want to enjoy all the possibilities that the sleep provides to us, to travel, to experience something unbelievable, you can achieve that every night there is this possibility to us. Why mastering more intelligent sleep? So we, the Spiritists, always say, well, let's practice intelligent sleep because it's, after all, it's 1/3 of the day hour we sleep. So let's take advantage, and we have to do the gospel, we have to meditate, etc. We don't be careful what we eat, be careful what you watch, be careful what you involve, if you involve in discussion with your husband, with your partner, with your kids, whatever. Those things are very bad for us to detach in a soft and thorough way to be able to travel. But there is something interesting the Spiritist codification says sleep is training for discarnation. So every night we are training to die. Because the only difference between me dead and me emancipate is the silver cord. The silver cord. The rest is what I will experience when I discarnate. So why not take advantage of practice this so we're not afraid of dying? So every night, by the mercy of God, we have this possibility to practice. And so he says, sleep is training for discarnation. Sleep frees the soul partially from the body. When we sleep, our spirit is in the state in which we find ourselves after death. The spirits who are promptly freed from matter upon death are those who, during their life, mastered the intelligent sleep. How about that, friends? Isn't it worthwhile for us to practice this and not arrive to the other side completely ignorant of this stage? You know, if they say, depends on how you practice. If your emancipation is so wonderful, you're able to meet loved ones, you're able to travel, to sense, that's what you're gonna have upon that. It's the same. When asleep, individuals practice intelligent sleep, meet loved ones and other spirits superior to them. They spend time with them, conversing and learning from them. They even work on undertakings in the spiritual world that they discovered to already be initiated or completed upon that. But let me just show this part. Dream yoga is also one of the best ways to prepare for that. According to Tibetan Buddhism, the mental body we have after death is almost identical to the mental body we have in dreams. And the experience in dream and death are also similar. So, in Greek mythology, Thanatos, the god of death, and Hypnos, the god of sleep, are not just brothers, they are twins. So the question that we should make to us, how am I dreaming? What is the quality of my dream? How do I wake up? In what state I wake up after sudden dream? Bad? Good? It was a nightmare? We have to now be careful with that. What do we do during sleep? As I said, you travel. Even if you are handicapped, you can travel. You can move your muscles. You know, the blind can see, the deaf can hear. Everything that belongs to the body is left behind. The spirit is complete. Or you can go and help loved ones, you know, during sleep, or receive some help, you know. So this is a discarnated girl that is going to help his grandparents, you know, or here usually as they are in body, probably they are incarnated, but it could be also in as a discarnated loved ones that are not in a good shape. So as a more or less a summary, capability of the soul during emancipation, still in question 402. So great expansion of psychic faculties. When the body rests, the spirit has more faculties than in the waking state. The phenomenon of bilocation, bicorpority, dreams, we're going to talk about this. Dreams are effect of emancipation of the soul. It remembers place, things of the past. So when I am as emancipated spirit, I can access my past, in a little bit of future, a kind of indefinite clairvoyance which extends to the most distant places or that you have never seen. You can see so far away. It's unbelievable. Indefinite clairvoyance. The spirit has no limits. Its limit is the quality of its own thought, good or bad. So what limits the spirit is the thought. It's not vision, not sense. It's the thought, good or bad. If it's good, through the affinity, I will have a good experience with people, with other incarnate, with situations. If it's bad, happens also. We will meet enemies, not only the discarnated one, but those that similar to me that are emancipated and once couldn't get me, you know, because of it's not politically correct during the waking state. It goes after when it's in the sleeping stage. It goes after and we encounter and start to bother and to ask for revenge or something. It participates in spiritual groups to solve scientific problems or inspire or inspire art. A lot of art is inspired during dream, and the painter wakes up and paints. So you could choose situations. If you are addicted to alcohol, drugs, of course, you can end up in nightclubs when you emancipate. You are trapped there. And there, or in dark alleys where the drug consumers are there, and you are trapped by this local energy that vibrates according to the energy that the spirit is emanated. So you choose the way you are, you choose your friends, quote unquote friends. The opposite is also true when a good spirit focus on studying or learning can emancipate itself and end up in a spiritual colony, a spiritual lecture or studying with other high spirits, receive or give spiritual treatment. So Chico Xavier and another medium, Portuguese medium called Fernando de Lacerda, they used to frequently go to during sleep, emancipate, and go to some of those colonies to help. Because we think the spirits, the discarnate spirits can do everything. No, they need sometimes the concourse of the incarnated spirit, because sometimes they need this heavier ectoplasm to help the obsessed guy, the obsessed spirit that is in the lower zone. So sometimes the mental are so high that they cannot go and connect and touch and converse with this connected. So they need the concourse of the mediums, the incarnate medium that emancipates during the sleep, to go there and help. The same way is in the mediumistic meeting. The mediumistic meeting, why the spirit is brought to our meeting? Because they need our heavy, perispirit, our heavy, ectoplasm body to connect, to connect to this suffering spirit that is in a lower vibration. Okay, this phenomenon of bilocation, what time is now? Let's go very quickly. It happens with Eurípides Barçanufo. He lived in Sacramento, Minas Gerais. He even founded this college called Allan Kardec College. And he was a medical doctor, and he could, suddenly he would enter in this stage of nap, somnolence, and sleepiness. He was giving some lecture, he stopped, and the students, he's gone. So he would go and perform some, help a lady to have a baby, etc. So he could have this corporate possibility, and he would go there and through his ectoplasm materialize in the other place and come back, and then he resumed his class. So it's very famous. And this also is a famous case of Anthony de Padua, which he was in Padua, Italy, and his father was in the court being accused of some murder, some kind of crime. And Padua, St. Anthony had this possibility of bilocation, bicorpority. He went to Portugal. I think this happened in Portugal. So he went there to defend his father, saying, look, the victim, the person that died, is saying to me that he was not the one that did, who did such and such a person. They found the correct criminal. So he could save his father by using this capability of bilocation and bicorpority. Great discoveries, of course. Kardec asked why when I have sleep, we have ideas, this seems excellent, but despite every effort, we cannot recall. The ideas disappear from our memory. What is the origin of these ideas? He says they are the consequence of the freedom of the spirit, who frees himself from the body and enjoys the use of other faculties when free. They are often advice given to you by other spirits. So they go to a meeting, scientific meeting. There they are together discussing the theories, whatever, etc. What is the purpose of such ideas and advice, since we forget them anyway? Those ideas often belong to the spirit world rather than the physical. However, though the body may forget them, the spirit does not, and the idea recurs to it at the right moment when awake, as a sudden inspiration. So the aha moment sometimes is when suddenly a flash of memory about that encounter during the sleep comes out. Or you have to go to sleep again. So the famous cases, of course, in Mendeleev about the periodic table. He dreamed about this table. Alfred Russel Wallace, which was the contemporary to Darwin, he also was less given credit, but he also arrived to the same conclusion about the evolution of the species. Kekulé, that during the dream, this snake eating his own end would go around, and the Benson ring, he had an inspiration. And the most important that I felt, this experience that Otto lived, he believed that there was a neurochemical transmission, not electric only. Today we know it has a lot of neurochemicals, adrenaline, dopamine, whatever. We always know that nerve endings release those chemicals. So he had to prove in begin 1900. So he stimulated the nerve that innervate the heart, predicting that it would release some chemical that we know today is acetylcholine that slows down the heartbeat. Then he got part of this volume that is supposed to have the chemical and put in another heart that was there without any stimulation, and the same slowdown of the heartbeat occurred. So he concluded that the stimulation of the nerve was only necessary to release the chemical. But you could put the chemical directly there and you have the same effect. That's how our medicine is doing, changing directly the quality or the amount of these transmitters around the nerve endings. So it's a kind. But ironically, he won the Nobel Prize like 30 years later. So I don't know if it was fair, because it was through an inspiration, through a dream that who whispered to him, So he should at least share this Nobel Prize with the spiritual world, probably. So lack of preparation. Let me see. Lack of sleep preparation. There is this case, which is in this book, Missionaries of the Light. There was going on, a course on mediumship in the spiritual world. So not only the discarnated spirits were invited, but also the incarnated one were invited too, because it was important to gather this information, this knowledge, in order to boost the mediumistic meeting in the spirit center. So there was supposed to be 300 people, but out of 300, many gave up in the middle, especially the incarnated one that were not, prepared, disciplined at night to be able to join this meeting. So this is the case. And it's interestingly, this meeting, instead of occurring in the spiritual world, in the institution, it happened still in the spiritual world, but around the spirit center. And Andre Luis asked, why not there in the here in the institution? They were in the institution, far from the earth. Why in the spirit center? Because of the incarnated spirit, they're not in the level to be brought here to our institution. So we have to go there, down to the earth, in the spiritual center. So it occurs in this environment of this spirit center. So this is a case of Vieira and Marcondes. They missed to attend this meeting. So they were waiting. Wow, Mentor Alexandre said, it's missing 2 people. Say, yes, it's Vieira and Marcondes. What is the cause? So Sertori, I think, one of the middle class mentor, not the high like Alexandre, said to André Luiz, let's go there to check what's going on. Perhaps they had some kind of accident. No. When they arrived in Vieira's house, he was having a nightmare, big nightmare. That's why he could not go to that. And they saw around him a spirit that was obsessing him. But he said, it's not my fault because he started to slander, he started to say wrong things, lie about me. I am already dead, and he's still gossiping bad things about me, which is not true. I'm upset, so I came here to ask you why you doing this. So he started to almost punch him mentally. So that's why Vieira is suffering with the nightmare. So then they said, look, but he doesn't know, you free him, etc. So the only way to help Vieira, André Luiz and Sartor gave a punch on him, so he woke up and he didn't know for sure what was going on. You know, he said, I'm sorry, I think I dreamed with that Barbosa. I don't know. But anyway, but they said, well, he's not in condition to join the meeting because he's completely, in this stage yet. And what happened to Marcon? So they went to the house of Marcon. Here was Marcon's half, a little bit detached, and he saw these two spirits coming. So he realized, oh my God, I missed the meeting. And he was ashamed. And then around him was 2 or 3 ladies. And the lady said, look, for sexual, meeting. He asked me, and he's doing this many nights like this, and we coming from far away, and we're not going to dismiss him. He's going to be with us here because it's that. So that was something that was going on, and because he was a little detached, he saw the André Luiz and Sartorio, he was ashamed, but he was in no condition to be liberated from these 3 women and go to the Spirit Center for this high meeting. So the tips I would say for the good intelligent sleep and more transcendental soft emancipation. Take care of the physiology, our biology. No intake of food that are difficult to digest 2 hours before going to sleep. Avoid alcohol, drink any drug that may depress, any stimulants. Drugs such as LSD, cocaine, marijuana can facilitate emancipation. There's some experiments doing this. However, the side effect, the dangerous effect of this practice is that you will also find the sick, the addicted, the vampires that are attracted by affinity. So they also are the users. So you may fall trapped in this dark alley. Emotions, you have to identify the good and bad emotional reactions, problems, events of the day. You have to self-analyze. You cannot keep these bad emotions. You have to substitute by the good. Otherwise, you're not going to have a good sleep. You're not going to have a good emancipation. You're going to have this over and over again, almost a nightmare. So get rid of the bad ones before going to sleep. Mental health. Are you agitated or relaxed? You have to analyze yourself. Avoid what hyper excites you. Type of movies, lights, music. So you substitute this before, 2 hours before, prayer, meditation, soothing music. I like to listen to SpiritistTalk. That helped me to calm down. And I choose, of course, those that has a soft voice and that stays monotonic, because otherwise I will wake up, with the sudden height of the voice. But you have to know yourself what comes down. Knowing that it's so important, let's go after the factors. Spiritual preparedness. Practice concentration, faith, and good thought. That we read in the Heaven and Hell last Thursday. That even for the good communication with the spirit, which is what we're doing during sleep, is a communication with the spirits. Concentration, faith, and good thoughts. The quality of the thought is what dictates. Learn about the process of emancipation of the soul. I learned so much that now I am really determined to be prepared, or at least do not fall in those bad habits. So the benefits of this emancipation, that I can receive support, I can receive treatment, new learning, also the danger. Be careful with the dangers. I can meet my enemies there. Be aware of our responsibilities, ethics, and usefulness to assist others, not only when we awaken, but also there, because we can serve as a medium. We are mediums in the spiritual plane. We can donate ectoplasm for the spiritual mentors to reach out for the lost ones, or the ones that are feeling lost. So, friends, that's what I have to say. So I am here for questions, comments. Thank you.
Yasco, thank you so much for this amazing reminder, as well as the learning process that you brought to us this afternoon, this evening. It's an amazing topic to discuss and to learn about, because we spend a good amount of our days doing what? Sleeping, right? And I think bringing this idea of quality sleep and connecting with higher minds it's certainly important for us. As you mentioned, the preparation for discarnation in a good way. We're not here thinking that we're all going to lose the physical body tomorrow, but it's a preparation to go to the other side. So this is very important, and we hope that we can take this into a higher level. Due to time, as usual, I like to say our hellos to everyone who said hello to us, who are here with us, and sharing this moment with us. But I would like to go straight into the questions, and obviously because of time, we have to make sure that we are using our time wisely. We have a interesting question that Daniel brought to us, where it says, in regards to dreams, what is your thought on those who gives too much attention to dreams interpretation?
No, they said don't try to interpret. That's what the Spirit said. Forget about interpretation, because it's so, how to say, it's an anecdotal thing, we want to be, if you want some explanation, some interpretation, it's because we want to be fooled. We want to receive the response, the answer that we want. And the day, if they are not so honest people, they will give whatever you want to hear. So what the Spirit said, what counts, it is for you to remember. It will come, will be triggered something during the day, and comes as an intuition, as an inspiration. Some of this discovery, of course, like Otto Levy, he could not remember. He said, "Oh, I will remember," so he didn't write down. But then he was so upset. But he had that in mind, that he had to, more or less, the theory was there. So his mind was completely concentrating that issue. So I don't know if the next night, or he dreamed again the same thing. So this time he wrote down. So, but it has to have a purpose. Why you remember more vividly, more in detail. And the detail will give to you if there is an allowance, I would say. So just connect more to be relaxed on the feeling. Did that cause me to feel bad, or that I is a red flag? Why? I have to reanalyze what's going on in my life, right? Why I'm, especially if it's a repetitive thing. We should take care of this because it's something that is in the psychological level, or in a spiritual level. I am receiving these encounters with some people that are in the same condition as me, emancipating, that don't like me. Or I said something bad. I put a smile, but they know. He knows I'm deceiving, you know. So I think interpretation, forget it.
And it's good that you're bringing this topic, because it was also posted, I believe, by Daniel through the Spirit side of Baltimore, that some dreams are just a reflection of our day-to-day activities. So in this case, aren't these dreams only results of brain activities? And
It
you talked about the repetitiveness, right? But
oh,
how much is this that is a recollection of the day also an alert for us?
that's completely true. Most of our dreams are related to this, especially in times that we are stressed, upset. We want to bend the things the way we want. We don't accept. We are rebelling. So, of course, if I don't prepare myself physiologically, and the psychological part is part of the physiology, it is not that hidden suppression, but it can be that I was upset. I had some argument. I I read something bad in the internet, and I put some response that is still lingering around that I should not have. So all these worries is there. So more is in the level of the brain, the level of the body, least you will emancipate. You're gonna stay there at the top, taking care of your daily problem. Why did I say this? What the person said that? Why this? Why that? Wasting your time. So that's why we have to do something. The problems of the day, I get back tomorrow morning. Leave it there. You know, there was a person that said that when he entered, there was a big tree in front of his house. He would hug the tree and said to the tree, keep my problems until tomorrow. Then he would enter in his house. So next morning, he would say, give me the problem. Now I will go to my work and will solve. But my family, the quality time with my family cannot be disturbed with something that I cannot solve anyway. So
Correct.
this day-to-day problem, you have to uh, uh, put in an equation that is this worthwhile? It's not worthwhile. Is this belong to my family or belongs to the work? The persons involved in this has nothing to do with my family. They cannot help me. And I, tomorrow, if I sleep well, if I rest well, and if I ask for help, it may come a solution next day. It's better to do that than to try to solve in that moment where you are before sleep. You don't even say hi to your family. You know.
Thank you. Yasko, because of time, I would like to do, it's going to be a three-part question, but they're related, so you should be able to answer them in one answer. The first one, I'll read the whole thing and I'll reiterate the questions directly. It's a comment from Paula, where she says the Spiritist poster on intelligent sleep suggests leaving a glass of water by the bedside for the good spirits to magnetize them during our sleep to rebalance our energies. And then the question is, common Spiritist practice. So hold on, don't answer yet. And then the next one that I would like to add, that I would like to bring, is that now let me just look for over here. How are episodes of insomnia understood in this Spiritist framework? And then finally, is that Alba asked, fantastic talk, Yasco. Thank you. I'm wondering, what's the spiritist view of those who sleep too much, i.e., narcolepsy? So one is the use of the magnetized water. One is sleeping too little or very little, and the other one would be sleeping too much. What can spiritism bring to us? So we can go ahead and finalize before 6.
Okay. The magnetic water, of course, it helps, but we are putting all the, how to say, the work on outside. So if we're not prepared to do our part, that magnetic water will be lost. Oh, we could enhance, I would say, amplify the effect, the good effect of the water, the magnetized water, if we prepare ourselves, especially the mind, to receive the benefits of that. Without that, there is no way. So is the preparation of us plus the help. If we prepare our part, the part of the spirit will be sensed. So the two ends, insomnia and narcolepsy, those are two not good. Not good. It's not healthy. So the insomnia means that you're not going to that cycle that I showed you, especially to the REM phase, which is the dream where you actually can go outside, the travel at where the spirit rests and the body rests. So the insomnia means you're not reaching that part. When you are almost going to phase 1, 2, 3, wake up and wake up. You don't go the circle, the cycle. So something has to be done. Narcolepsy and drugs that cause sleep pills also can disturb the cycle, because not because you seems almost dead sleeping as a body that you actually your spirit is free. Doesn't mean that. You can be totally attached to your almost dead there narcoleptic body. That's why some barbiturates were not used anymore as a sleep pill, because it was disturbing the REM phase. The person said, oh, I'm sleeping, but I'm tired. So they develop a better, safer, including that barbiturate is very difficult. It's very dangerous. So can kill, while the benzodiazepine don't kill, unless you put together with alcohol. But anyway, better sleep pill that will preserve somehow the REM phase. So the narcolepsy, you have to go and check this, because it can have also ramification to your respiratory cycle, respiratory problem if you having, all this disturbance. So these two extremes are not spiritual sleep.
Thank you. It's important to bring this to ourselves, and I would like to thank you, Yasco, and wishing everyone to have a good sleep, because this is the moment that we can certainly connect with our.
Have to prepare.
But do our preparation, do our part, as you said, right, Yasco? Make sure that we do our part. Because of time, folks, we will have to state right here. Abigail, I took a picture here of your question. We will send the answers. Very enlightening question as well. So we'll go ahead and send the answer to you. We hope everyone stays safe. I would like to do a short prayer right now so we can close this moment and finalize our evening here, asking our dear God to bless us all and to guide us through these moments of sleep so we can be more effective when we come back to the physical body to exercise the teachings of our Master Jesus. We wish everyone a safe weekend and a start of a week that will be enlightening. during the sleep, as well as during the waking moment in the physical body. We're thankful for one another, and so be it. Until next time, everyone,
Okay.
and thank you.
Bye bye, guys. Thank you.